Okay, now you know more than me about my history. And I think Wikipedia helped a lot in this way. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the Institute and the authorities of the Institute, and to have the chance Saturday afternoon to be here to exchange certain information about my country. That is quite small. I don't know if the technology will help now, but it's no problem. And because I have here something that is not showing there. I don't know how it's the issue now, but don't worry. Any of you, did you hear about Uruguay sometime? Yes. Yes? What did you hear? What? About football. The people told me here just that Luis Suarez is playing with Barcelona in this moment, okay? And what else?
You already bought one person.
What else? Any other one? Did you hear about Uruguay? It's so far? About 14,000 kilometers. Okay? And fly from Madrid 12 hours.
Some wines, good wines from Uruguay.
Okay, this is a good reference. The wine, since the last 20 years, we start to renew how to produce the wine, because it was very, very bad at that time. And now we have the original grapes that is Tanat. It was basically from France, and in when was the problem with the fungus, disappeared here, and we keep there, and it's better than what was in France, because the weather, as well as practically with the wine from the ocean, and it's quite well. You will have the chance to test later. And okay, I prefer to answer questions more than to speak, right? Already the ambassador reflect the big figures about Uruguay, and tourism is quite important. But what is important for us is the question in general that we have 160-year relation with Germany. I use this one. Okay. And then this relationship has been developed in certain different areas, but through these 160 years, the different people from Germany has been present in agriculture, engineering, education, finance, industrial issues, and now is one country. I don't want to go through details of that, but at the moment, we hope that we can develop the relations in order to improve economic issues for our people, because the most important for us is how to develop and to increase the quality of life of the people in my country. Here, I have people from Africa, from Middle East, from Europe. I think from Brazil, we have one. I don't know, which countries are here, more or less? Tell me, please. Spain, right? Greece? Yeah? And you are from? Mauritania, right. And all of you are from Mauritania? Right. And from Europe, any other country? Afghanistan, right. Okay. The beginning of the relation, let us say, from Germany with Uruguay was through an engineer, Liebel, that has a technology to produce something special from the meat, that is extracto de carne for us. I don't know how it is in English exactly, but it's meat. And later, this factory became British, and during the last century, 1930, 1940, 45, was the biggest factory for food in the world. In such a frigorific work practically 4,000 people and produced the meat that has been used for the soldiers that fight in the Second World War. And today it became, as is mentioned there, a heritage of UNESCO from the international point of view. And for us also, of course, football is one of the main issues, especially because we were the first World Cup in 1930, and after that, previously, in Olympic Games, 24 and 28, also Uruguay was the champion, and especially during 1950 in Brazil, where were, and quite remember the people, Maracanã, and till now. Then in my country, from 73 to 85, we have a, let us say, dark period, that was the dictatorship. And since 1985 till now, we are in a democracy system, and it's more one of the most stable, let us say, countries from democracy, freedom, human rights, and particularly in the question of sustainability for develop our country. And you can find here some of the issues that are in Spanish, but green economy, environment, and climate changes. In the climate, now we have a special policy, and now we have some special thing that is traceability on the cow, and every animal in our country is individualized, and you cannot move or sell anything if you not establish a control on them. And that is why we offer security for food security, and it's quite important, as well as the question of the forest at the moment in my country. This is more or less the figures that we can present concerning the tourism. Do you know the idea of how many people are living in my country? If it's married with one Uruguayan functionary, that is why he knows exactly. But we have 3.3 habitants, and Montevideo, that is the capital, is more or less half of that. And we receive more than visitors than habitants we have, because through the, let us say, the migration pass more or less 3 million people per year, plus 400,000 cruise people, and in the border with Brazil, we don't have practically any kind of control, because if you take a street, one side is for Brazil, one side is for Uruguay. Then the people are living practically in the same area, but there are more or less 300,000 people else that arrive to my country. Means that, in general, 3.7 million visitors we receive per year. And economically, this is the most important activity individually. It's practically, as the ambassador mentioned, 3.7 of the GDP, and are $2 billion the income from that activity. Europeans means 170 in total, plus cruise people, that from November till April we have practically 200 peak of cruise in Montevideo and Punta del Este. That is the most important brand for tourism in South America. And also we have in the German-speaking area, the Österreich and Switzerland, but this amount altogether are more or less 25,000. And in figures, what is important in ranking is that more or less internationally we are recognized for all these kind of things. that, as I was mentioned by the ambassador, is the reason why the ranking Mercer recognized Montevideo as the best place to live in South America, and without any kind of corruption, with a good level of healthy, security, and in general, our culture is quite recognized. In this particular moment, we are in the first place in Latin America for individual GDP, personal GDP, in the $19,000 per year. And these are the recognition that we have for different questions. And what is important for us is this dramatical change that we have concerning the energy in our country. 10 years ago, practically 90% of the energy for industrial production came from fossil or petrol as a source. Today, since practically August last year, 100% of the energy for industrial production is from renewable sources: aeolic, hydraulic, biomassa, and solar. And this is the reason why Uruguay is recognized as a green country at the moment internationally. In this small map, you can see how Le Figaro mentioned places where to go for tourism, right? And practically you can see the main are in the coast of Uruguay, and from Buenos Aires to Colonia del Sacramento, you can cross in ferries of 400 people, 200 cars, in 50 minutes. Yeah? It's easier to come to Colonia than to go out of the downtown in Buenos Aires. And from Buenos Aires to Montevideo, or Montevideo, Buenos Aires, you can use another ferry that is for 900 people, 150 cars, in crossing 2 hours, 15 minutes. Then it's very easy to reach our country through Buenos Aires and to combine, is what we said, as a multi-destination, a trip of multi-destination in South America. Then, what we are trying now to do is to develop certain areas in my country, trying to use the river, Uruguay River, right, that divide between Argentina and Uruguay. Argentina is in the left side, the right side is Uruguay, and because never has been developed tourism fluvial or in the rivers. And also, we try to use all the natural resources that we have for tourism in this other area, and with the spring water, it's possible to, to have in this other area. Then, for a special plan to 2022, we expect if any tourists come to Uruguay, have the chance not only to arrive to the coast, but also to have the chance to go to other parts of the country. The new hotels now we are developed. We have more or less 45,000 beds, but at the same time, from the real estate developed, we have approximately 200,000 beds. Means that we have a very good condition to receive all kinds of tourists for different perspectives, with different level, from the hostel to the 5 stars or luxury places. And what we are trying to develop is all these lines in a tourist perspective, right? And also, in few months, we will have in June the opening ceremony for this convention center in Punta del Este. The ceremony will be through the Platinus Award. That means Ibero-American films like Oscar, but the Ibero-America side. That will be 23rd, 24th June. And at this moment, we are also planning in our capital, Montevideo, Antel Arena. Antel means telecommunication, national telecommunication company. and will be for 12,000 spectators. And this is supervised by NBA of Basket Association from United States. The cruise means an important area too, in Montevideo and Punta del Este. And this is a new bridge that start to have the chance to go through in last December, sorry. Yep. This is a circular because it's in a protected area, and was a long discussion. During practically 35 years, we were discussing if to do or not to do. And finally, this special design has been approved. You can see ocean there, and it's a lagoon in this area, and the people can walk through or can stay fishing or to observe the nature because it's a protected area. And for us, it's very important at the moment, this. And finally, I can mention that tango is something that is very important for us. Majority of you maybe knows through Argentinians. And it's true that the place where has been developed the tango as a massive dance is in Buenos Aires. Maybe, did you hear about Carlos Gardel? Yes or not? Okay, of course, one said. Okay, it's an Uruguayan. We can discuss if maybe with the French. But what is clear is that Gardel became famous singing in Buenos Aires. That is why tango became a heritage of UNESCO as a Rio Platense, means both sides, Buenos Aires and Montevideo. But next year, in April, will be 100 years of the most important and well-known tango, that is La Comparsita. That, in any way, José Carlos Matos Rodriguez is an Uruguayan, the composer of the tango. This cannot be discussed. And then, hopefully, some of you can visit us in, next year, and you can be part of the celebration that we will have. This is an information concerning the connection that we have from Europe to Montevideo. Madrid is daily flight, Air Europa and Iberia. Paris is daily flight too, from Paris to Montevideo. From Miami is daily flight. In the region, we have practically daily flight from all these points that is mentioned here. And for the perspective to visit South America, it's quite easy to come to Uruguay. As you could see, this is previous to the end, and now is the end. Thank you very much. And I am open to answer any question, or at least I will try to answer any question.
No, thank you very much for an excellent presentation, which I'm sure has inspired many questions. And as you and I agreed initially, the questions and the discussion are the most important. So we really do hope you take this opportunity to make the minister work and answer your questions the best way he can, or comments. Anything you'd like to know about Uruguay or responses to his speech?
Maybe before the question, you have 2 minutes and a half to see certain imagine of our country.
Very much. So now please, questions, comments for the Vice Minister or for the Ambassador? Who would like to go first? Okay, I'll start there.
Hi, thank you very much for the presentation. I'm Victor from Spain. What is the importance of football players like Luisito Suarez or Godin as ambassadors of Uruguay?
In Uruguay, the children born with a global football under the arm. That is why it's very important. You can imagine that the country stops when the national team is played. And what even is a surprise, that with 3.3 million people, we have the chance to distribute players all over the world. And some of them quite famous, because also is Cavani in France, or Rodlin also in France. Some years ago was Sosa here in Germany, as well as Rodriguez in Schalke 04. For us, it's very important and represent the country some way or another. But in the last 10 years, under the direction of the Professor Maestro Tavares, that is the director of the national team, it's not the question of good players, it's a question of good person. And this means that a team is very important. It's not only the qualification of each one, because definitely a lot of countries has a lot of very good players. Despite the fact Uruguay now has really a process from the national team under 15, under 17, until 20, until 23. And in this process, for the world competitions, Uruguay in 7 different kind of competition for overall system, we qualify to the final games for 6 to 7 chances. And then it's very important for us. And also the teams now are developed a special school for them. And they follow, because it's not question of football, also it's question as a person. And that is why for us, our ambassadors or our representing, we consider them as a part of the national brand.
Thank you very much. Who would like to go next? Comments or questions? Okay.
Thank you very much for your talk. I'm Naomi, I'm from the UK. I'm very interested by the fact that Uruguay enjoys a lot of domestic tourism. So Uruguayans who are very proud to travel within the country, particularly through things like Semana de Turismo. And I was wondering, does the Ministry of Tourism make the most of these cultural ambassadors for promoting Uruguay abroad? So nationals who know the country very well and are very proud of the culture.
Let us say that if you want to develop tourism, you need at least 2 conditions: to have time and to have money. Uruguay, in the last 10 years, recovered, the people in the country recovered more than 40% of the possibility from money point of view, what they can do in the country. And at the moment, they expend more or less $800 million per year in internal tourism. But the most important issue for the tourism ministry is to inform what they can do in the country. Because if you don't have that chance, it's difficult to visit different parts of the country. And this is what we are doing at the moment, even to develop certain infrastructure to give such possibilities. But in any country, the sustainability of the system depends on both the incoming people and the internal tourism. And this is what is going on at the moment in Uruguay. But they speak Spanish too, huh? Yes? A little, okay.
Let me ask a related question, if I may, to actually both the Vice Minister and the Ambassador, regarding not only, let's say, the domestic tourism within Uruguay, but what about the diaspora abroad? In the sense, on the one hand, the Ambassador is not alone. You know, there are diaspora communities in Germany, in Europe, in the USA, etc. What role does the diaspora play, on the one hand, of representing the country abroad, and then secondly, in perhaps also strengthening, you know, relations, whether it's economic ties, cultural ties back home? Do you see opportunities for the diaspora also to do more when it comes to nation branding or representing the country abroad?
I cannot speak for the ambassador, but look, all the system that Uruguay, a representation system that we have outside, is basically on the embassies or consulate. And in the last year is the strengthening of the relation between the different ministries with the foreign affairs is helping very much in such a way. We have a special structure that is Instituto Uruguay 21, that is pro-expo in different countries in Latin America, that now take a responsibility for different things that are about the promotion. Even we make a process where inside the Instituto Uruguay 21 is the structure that make the management of the national brand. Our national brand is Uruguay Natural. Don't mean only the question of nature. Of course, for us is important. But the most important through this is to explain how is the quality of life that we have in Uruguay. I try to mention some of the aspects about, and the ambassador too. And let us say, this talk that we have now, as well as the presence in ITV, that is for the last 30 years, also happened in Spain with Fitur, 25 years, or in WTM in London, UK, that also for us is important. And in Latin America, we have presence in the majority of the countries. And through the agreement with airlines, sometimes we have the chance to bring journalists or travel agencies to our country, and also develop certain kind of public relation in different markets that we are prioritary for us, and is what we are trying to develop. But the ambassador also can be answer for your own.
I just wanted to add that the issue of the Uruguayans living abroad is something that the government has been taking into particular attention since 2005 onwards. The country is divided into 19 district organizations, like states, let's say. So in the foreign ministry, we have created the state number 20 in order to address all the interests in what the Uruguayans abroad need. And that's something that it is now installed into our foreign ministry, and we have the need to relate with the Uruguayans overseas. That's why nowadays we have tried to facilitate a lot of issues for them if they want to return back into the country. And as you know, there has been a crisis in Spain. Many Uruguayans, even living in Spain, went back to Uruguay. The government tried to facilitate their return into the country. And at the same time, when we can take care of the other issues that have to do with their well-being and how they are in different and foreign societies, the foreign ministry is trying to look with a much more attention to that community that it's almost of 600,000 people that are spread throughout the whole world. We don't have as many Uruguayans in Germany, but we have around, let's say, 3,000. Basically, most of them live in the southern states, in Baden-Württemberg, and in Bayern. And in Berlin, I think we have around 300. So we try to, as also the embassy, to be more in touch with their needs, what they can really depend on us. It is something that it's the people that for many circumstances, sometimes we say political, also economic immigrants, and that they have left the country because the country would not give them opportunities. Thank God we are receiving the reverse also situation in which many of them are coming back because the country is offering much more opportunities for them. to live once again in the country, and at the same time, we have made another measure that is important. All the Uruguayans that live abroad can translate their nationality, and even we have made that extended to a third generation. So if you are, for example, the grandson of a Uruguayan that lives overseas, you are entitled to have the Uruguayan passport and all your documents as a way even to be recognized as a citizen. So let's say it's been a great effort. Of course, the Ministry of Tourism has also collaborated in that sense, and we try to be more related with our foreign ministry, our embassies, our consulates, all our structure overseas, to be more, let's say, caring, and also at the same time looking for them, which it's try to review a very dark past in which sometimes our embassies were like a sort of place where to look upon of them for bad issues. But now, let's say the scope and what the government wants is that 20th departamento would stay there for them to be of their use. And well, that's why it's part of a policy that we also look after in the embassy here in Berlin. So thank you for the question.
Thank you for both of those responses. I'd like to give the chance back to you for further questions and comments. Thank you, first.
My name is Catherine from Nigeria.
Hello, Catherine.
Thank you very much for your speech. Uruguay is very beautiful. I wanted to ask regarding the bridge. I saw the very beautiful bridge, and you said it has taken about 35 years to discuss if it should be opened. I want to ask, is there not a danger for opening such protected area to outsiders, to tourists? And if there is, what are the steps that your government has taken to make sure that the area is still protected and not damaged by tourists that are going to come and go around?
Yeah. We are few Uruguayans, right? Then we discuss everything. And all the time we are discussing, especially in football. But over this lagoon was during 35 years one common bridge till middle of the lagoon. Didn't use, was not ended. Oh? Now we damage them, and we were discussing how can be the best solution not to affect the environment, and we connect both sides because it's the state of Maldonado with the state of Rocha. Okay? But then, before that, we took several measures in order to help how to develop the area. And you know that the process to become protected area is not to sign a law. It's to make that all the stakeholders can be part of this discussion. Maybe we will make certain mistakes. This is possible too. But at least we try through this process to avoid such a mistake, and that the people can be part of the process to protect or to continue protect the area. Then, for instance, now we are organizing all this walking tour around. We make the inventory of what is from the animals, the fauna, flora, etc. And through this, we hope that we keeping like nature, like has to be careful with that, or at least to be careful with that. But this is happening in other areas where there are not a bridge. There are different kind of difficulties and problems. Now, the first law concerning the protected area has been approved in 1996. And the discussion about the regulation takes 10 years. And since 2006 till now, we have 10 areas that become part of the system, right? And of course that we will make mistakes, definitely, because it's impossible not to have mistakes. But at least we are trying to avoid as much as possible.
Hello, my name is Jagrati. I'm from India. I wanted to ask you, in terms of the cultural experience and the festivals that Uruguay is planning to organize, there are other Latin American countries who are already offering such an experience, and they're a little bit older in that playing field. So how does Uruguay as a new player contribute differently from those other players?
Okay. Maybe in the film you saw at least some performances with black people and other one, okay? In Uruguay, we have a long tradition of the carnival. And it's the only carnival that is not a parade, it's with performances, right? And for this, we have two basic roads. One is from Cádiz, Spain, murgas and chirigotas, that means group of people that singing different political issues or social issues with a special music that is quite famous. This is one area. The other one, in Uruguay, are living more or less 7 to 8% of our population is black people. And we have a parade that is called Las Llamadas, that is in the normal street, the common street where the black people live in the last century or before that. And then it's similar what is going on as a parade like in Sambódromo, Rio de Janeiro, or Sao Paulo. Of course, that is not with such kind of luxury that is there, but you could see that these are normal people, and the only music there is the tamboril. Means we call cuerda de tambores, that means a battery of 50 to 70 tamboriles that use the original music. That Las Llamadas mean the way that the slavery people passed has called to work, or to eat, or ended the daily work. And then the people start to play the tambourine in a way that the Spanish people could not recognize what they send as a message, right? That is why it's called Las Llamadas. And now, in this street, it's like in Sambódromo, it's 1,800 meters, and we have a jury that qualifies them, and it's like in the football. You know, are people in fans of one or another, and they are playing in a different ways, depends on the area in the town in Montevideo where they are living, or at least that they practice and play regularly. Then, this question of carnival is international, and our carnival is the longest in the world, starting the last week of January till middle of March, because it's the competition and everybody take part of that. And we use also, we promote as a tourist resource. And also we invite the people to go there and to play together with the groups, not only to observe what is going on the performance. This is one thing. The second thing is the tango. As I mentioned, the tango in Buenos Aires is fantastic, really. They have show really spectacular. But in Uruguay, we have small places where the normal people are playing tango, or dancing tango, and then the tourists can come, and we organize through this. But also, due to that our country is related with the countryside, the cowboys, let us say, in general, then we have a special celebration, particularly in this Eastern week, that is a competition where the gauchos show what practice they have in order to keep in the horse. It's not a doma, it's jineteada. Means that they have to keep at least 7 seconds on the animal. And this, in general, the people is going there. There is we organize a stadium of more or less 20,000 people, and it's the only place where you can see that everybody is fan of the horse, not the cowboy, because they want to it's funny, really, in that time. But also, the question of culture in general is quite developed, especially, for instance, in the architecture. We are in South America the most important example of city, Montevideo, on Art Deco. Art Nouveau, Buenos Aires has a lot of, we have, but they have much more than we. But Art Deco is particularly important for us, and in Europe, especially during the 30s, the last year was a trend of the art, very important, and we developed that. Even some kind of the traditional material for our houses, or to build the building there, is ceramic or beton, and we have a special way to produce houses with certain special technique that has been developed in my country. And other things, I know, maybe can explain directly, but it's quite long what we are trying to do.
Thank you very much. Are there any other final questions or comments for the Vice Minister or for the Ambassador? Because if not, then I would suggest we might consider concluding the official part of the event with the speeches.
The most important food for us is meat.
That was my
Be
thinking
clear,
exactly.
yeah?
So,
You will, and you could see how we cook the meat, directly with fire, and only we use salt, not in too much things, because if you want to taste really the meat, you need to use few things with that. And the difference and the quality of the meat depends, because the cow is walking, is eating and walking. It's not like feedlot that stay quiet in one place and anything else. Then the taste of the meat is completely different. And here in Germany, I will make publicity, the Blockhouse is 45 places you can eat Uruguayan meat. Okay, thank
so
you.
on the topic of eating, I think that's a good introduction for the second part of this event, which will take place in the restaurant, where we'll actually have a chance to taste a little bit of Uruguay in terms of the food as well as the wine. So we very much look forward to that. And the music as well. We have a live musical performance as well. But before we transition for that, I have two requests. First of all, a warm round of applause for the Vice Minister. Thank you very much for having come.
Thank you very much. Thank you.